Look, K-State's on the monitor this week for a reason. 48-0. Pants down spanking.
Beating the preseason favorites to take the Big 12 title.
Yeah, beating Oklahoma State. I think the media, we voted Baylor in, but yeah, I mean, like there's, one of the two, like, and again, the two teams everybody thought it was going to be again, Oklahoma State and Baylor in a rematch, are now on the outside looking in while they do have a chance to get themselves back in there. They've got to get some losses from teams. And Kansas State, I'm very impressed, and I've always been impressed with Chris Klieman. That's the perfect hire to take over for Bill Snyder. And the fact that they can go in there with Adrian Martinez, who was just all over the place in Nebraska, and win games like they do. And then Will Howard, who his first couple of years was kind of thrust into action when he wasn't ready, can come in and play like he has.
Yeah, it's been very surprising.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think it was week 3 when they lost to Tulane. Everyone was saying, like, oh, my God, this team sucks. Like, Tulane, really? And then fast forward a couple of weeks, and Tulane is actually looking pretty good.
Tulane would be the group of 5 team that probably makes the playoff if it was the 12-team playoff. So that's how good Tulane and Willie Fritz have been, especially on defense. And those two teams, knocking heads. Adrian Martinez has found himself, and now he's found himself out of the lineup because he's injured. Will Howard comes in, and that's a testament to Chris Klieman and his, steady Eddie style of doing things. Look, Manhattan, Kansas is not going to be a place that you're going to be able to sell real easy. They've had a lot of success.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to sell that.
Yeah, I mean, but it's no different than any other. There's some other crappy college towns, and I say crappy college towns because most of them are kind of like when you're an adult or you're somebody who's like looking for things, you would not live there unless you had to, right?
Right.
Like most college towns are places you live there because you have to, because you're going to school there, or you work at the school, or you work around the school based on the school's benefits to that particular industry.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But it's not something like, nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, where I'm going to move? Tuscaloosa. It's not how it is. And that's the college football town right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody moves to Athens unless you are involved with the university. Nobody's going to, but it is even more so places like Manhattan that are more remote, right? Most town, like a lot of them are close to somewhere. College Station's somewhat remote, but it's close to places.
Yeah.
Baylor is here in Waco. Waco used to be considered pretty remote, but it's grown quite a bit. And being right in the middle of Dallas and Austin, It's not really that remote. Places like Lubbock, Stillwater, and Manhattan are kind of remote. They're
Are you saying? I thought you lived West Texas. What are you talking about?
You know that I don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but there's a lot of things I don't understand. But what he has done there is he's got the personality of that university. I mean, he won national titles at North Dakota State. He knows how to coach winning football. Will that translate to titles nationally? I don't know. Kansas State's been knocking on the door a couple times in their history, so it's not impossible.
I mean, that is Klieman. He is a guy that I would not be surprised at all if Nebraska at least gave him a phone call.
Well, they should have already years ago. Nebraska should have called at least one of the North Dakota State coaches.
Yeah,
because that would have fit. But I think they as a university thought that they were going to be kind of cool like everybody else and run this cool hip offense. And that's why they went and got Scott Frost, a guy who was the master of the option, but now he was this great offensive coach at Oregon as the coordinator, and then UCF as the head coach, and he was going to come in there. What Scott Frost, and I think, was kind of crushed under the weight of expectations at, you won us a national title, like you were here in our glory days. You are the only guy who can bring it back. I think that gets in your head a little bit.
Yeah,
and
Cliff Kingsbury, the same situation.
Yeah. And 2, you get a quarterback like Adrian Martinez, who is such a super athlete, but you aren't built enough around him to where your whole game plan in every game is, please go save me. And then Adrian Martinez makes a ton of mistakes, and people get mad about it, but it was the whole thing please go save me. The Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, it's kind of the Tony Romo effect to me.
Yeah.
The Cowboys found themselves so lucky with Tony Romo. that they got this really fun quarterback, really good quarterback, near great quarterback. Didn't win enough in the playoffs for me to call him great, but a fantastic quarterback. But they got too much into the, hey, as long as we're within 10 points with 7 minutes left in the game, Tony's going to do something crazy, right? And he did enough. But it's also nice not to put all that pressure on that guy, because then all of a sudden sometimes Tony Romo would do some things you're like, Tony, what are you doing? Well, part of that was not his fault, in that like the game plan was go be Romo.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah,
And,
especially on a college athlete.
yeah, and especially on a college athlete. And Chris Kleiman with Adrian Martinez was never going to be that way. It was going to be, you're a great athlete. We're going to use all your athletic skills, and we're never going to put you in a position where this whole game's on you, because this defense is going to be ready to play. And he has them ready to play every single week. Kansas State defense hunts, man.
And it doesn't hurt that they had that, extremely fast hummingbird in Deuce Vaughn there taking
exactly.
carries.
So, yeah, that's the other thing, is they have Deuce Vaughn. They have him. They have Malik Knowles. Heck, Kurt Warner's kid, Cade, out there scoring touchdowns. Good player. I mean, they're good. They're good across the board. And Will Howard, as the backup, has made them good. And he was patient with Will Howard.
He was.
The couple of years that Will Howard had at the beginning of his career, it would have been really easy for Chris Kleiman to, a guy he recruited really hot, they really wanted him, to be like, look, it's not working out.
Yeah, why don't you hit the portal?
Yeah, the portal will be great for you. You'll find a great place to play at, Stephen F. Austin or, not here university, and go. But they stuck with him. They clearly developed him well. And now they're able to put him in situations that he can succeed at, as opposed to, oh, crap, our other quarterback got hurt. Skylar Thompson's out. You ready to go? I don't know, man. So, of course, now part of that is he's been like, that's kind of Will Howard's life, is that Skylar Thompson was hurt. Will Howard had to go in, and now he was just more ready for it. He's hit that maturity level, but that's all due to Chris Kleiman and the staff there. I think that they've done a fantastic job. I think that he's a fantastic coach. And again, really just, level.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kansas State team has been, it's been a lot of fun to watch them be good in this past season, because they've had some down years between the Snyder and Kleiman era there.